Yo, Aldi has their own brand of peanut butter cups, and they fucking hit, dude. They're good.
Has Aldi always been around over there?
Like, since the birth of the nation, probably not, but yes, it's been around for a while.
That's crazy. Because that's peak European naming too, you know?
Yeah, the first one opened in 1976.
That's
Okay.
really old, you know?
Well,
It's much older than I am.
first Aldi store in the
Okay,
Netherlands.
they were founded in 1961, so it got over here pretty quickly.
I'm gonna be real with you
Yeah.
guys. Remember when this isn't actually like something that's real. Remember when you're like 6 and somebody says, yeah, that should happen in like 1910, and you're like, holy fuck, that is so long ago. And then now I'm like 26 and they're like, that happened in 1910. I'm like, yeah, that's like a little while ago, but not that long. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
We're still feeling the ripples of history on that one. So it's not that long.
yeah,
Yeah, I get you.
yeah. But like when you're a 6-year-old and somebody's like, that happened in like 1980, you're like,
Whoa.
wow. That's like 7 times older than I was ago. Like,
My dad was probably in college in 1980.
yeah,
That's crazy.
ancient history. Dinosaurs were still being made back then.
Yeah, my dad.
Yeah, bad. There is a small chance, boys, that I will have to abruptly leave. Um, so if at some point I just disappear, I'm sorry, but that is part of the process of quitting. Is people want to talk to me.
When you say
Um,
abruptly, do you mean like suddenly you're gone, or will you at least say, "Oh, I gotta go"?
I'll be like, I'm Bolton. Like, I'll have a
Okay,
few
okay.
seconds. It'll be like HR gives me a call, and I'm like, ugh, you know.
HR gives
Um,
me a call.
yeah.
I'm not answering.
I'm not answering. Never, I plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth. They're trying to conduct an exit interview, and I just keep going. I plead the fifth.
Yup.
Bro, you don't even got the fifth. You can't plead it.
We got a fifth. I don't know what it is, but we definitely have a fifth.
The Netherlandian fifth.
Fifth Amendment, Netherlands. No, I don't want to know about an equivalent.
The Fifth Amendment probably happened in the Netherlands like 700 years ago.
Yeah, well, not 700, but I get where you're coming from.
Verschijnsrecht. Or Zwijgrecht.
Zwijgrecht. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good.
I went to Costco yesterday, so of
Okay.
course had to swing through the food court. I decided to go for the pizza for the first time in a long time. I've been eating dogs like it's my job, but I was like, I'm going big. I'm going for the pizza. Bro,
Yeah.
I had heartburn the entire night.
Oh,
The
no.
acid reflux on Costco pizza goes crazy.
That's why you gotta
So-
eat it with some Tums. You pregame it with Tums so you become immune to the acid reflux reaction, you know?
Yeah, I did slam some Tums. I Tumsed it when I got home.
It was a Tumergency. Yeah. Our sponsor for today isn't Tums, so I don't want to give them any more recognition than we have to.
yeah.
So
I
let's go by
wish
like
they
the
would sponsor,
non-brand
though.
name. That would be cool. You're like, I'm sponsored by Tums. But that's like Kleenex, you know? Like you say Tums, everyone knows you mean like calcium carbonate or whatever it is. I'm gonna go double check to make sure I'm not making that shit up.
I was gonna suggest we can do the Dutch equivalent of Tums, but then you would make fun of me for the name, so I'm not gonna say it.
We could just call
Is
it chalk. We just say
is
I'm
it-
eating some chalk.
Is
Okay.
it Baux?
No.
Oh, because Tums is like a tummy reference because that's where
Yeah.
you hurt when you eat
No,
one.
I get it. You guys love naming things cute.
Yeah.
Okay, and you guys love naming things silly. We all have our issues.
What is
See,
Pepto Bismol on
I
the
just
cute
think
silly scale?
I just think Aaron is too caught up in the Europe America culture war that I go, you guys like to name things cute, and you saw that as an assault on your very being.
I think you're
Cute
so
is a
caught
good
up
thing.
in the America Europe culture war that I said silly, and you took that as an
you
assault.
can't- No,
Silly is a good thing.
I got your tone on tape, on camera. Run it back.
Gentlemen,
Oh, yeah.
please, no fighting. Y'all are both silly.
No. I'm goofy. It's different.
He's goofy.
So who's introing today?
Should I do like a fun voice or should I just do like normal voice?
Your normal voice is funny.
Fuck.
Sorry.
Say it's silly, you bastard. It's silly, not funny. I'm goofy.
Cute. It's cute.
That's even worse. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Normally Online podcast. I'm Jonas, giving you your intro today, and we're just going to jump right in. There's been a lot of talk with the Olympics going on right now, so I'm curious, Dame Scott, you got any tea with the Olympics?
Dude, I have barely been watching any of the actual sports, but the tweets are going crazy. There was the Korean shooting lady. She won gold, right?
I believe so, and set a world record in the process.
Yo, well then usually you do win gold. But she was like decked out in, $200 DLC. She got the battle pass.
She had
Like she had
enchanted gear, like
she had
attunement slots full.
+9 legendary gear, like fucking a visor, and I don't even know what you would call it, but she's sick as hell, and yeah, I'm totally for the Olympics now.
Hell yeah.
I feel like if you're gonna mention her, you gotta mention the Turkish dad who got
Oh, the
silver.
hitman.
Who, yeah, everyone was like, "This is a hitman Turkey sent to the Olympics," because he's just out there, gun in hand, no gear, just one hand in the pocket, popping
Yep.
shots, and he got silver. And I saw in an interview afterwards, he's like, "Yeah, what can I say? I'm a natural shooter."
I like that people are comparing him to The Incredibles, where there's a scene where Dash, the fast little kid, he's in like a race, like a track meet with other 11-year-olds, and his parents are like, "Go faster, go fast! No, too fast, too fast! You don't show him up." Like that
Yeah.
Turkish dude rolls up and gets gold. Like there's going to be a lot of questions. There's already a lot of questions, but there'd be even more.
Yeah, I don't know if this is true or if I was a victim of the internet rumor mill, but I saw that people were saying like if you're doing competitive shooting and you're doing it with both eyes open, you're just actively like nerfing yourself.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
only reason you would shoot with both eyes open if you were like, like a marine, like in a SWAT team or something.
Yeah,
So,
right. There's someone shooting back that you need to keep an eye on.
yeah, exactly.
I could also see though, like depth perception is important. So like having both eyes gives you a bit of depth perception. I'm not a shooter, but what I do know is that like when I'm coding, if I want to be open to all the bugs, I have both my eyes open to keep my eyes on them, better field of view. And if I need the
Yeah.
precise code, close one eye. Close one eye and code. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They are
yeah.
known
Scopes
to
you right
scurry
in.
around.
So do you think he would have been able to leave the country if he had gotten gold? Or do you think they would, like French Secret Service would have just stopped him at the airport? Like, what else have
Do
you
we
been
have
up
confirmation
to here?
he's back yet?
Oh, great question.
Mm.
Don't they just hang out at the Olympic Village after they compete though till the Olympics are done?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear there's a lot of fucking going on in the Olympic
Mm-hmm.
Village.
And ever since I think maybe it was Tokyo or maybe it was the one before, they made the anti-sex beds,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and they're still rocking with it. But I saw one of the funny things about this Olympics is I feel like all of the Olympians have become TikTokers
Yeah.
oh
because
yeah.
like what else do you do, I guess? And one of them was a guy who like tested how much he could rock on the bed before it would collapse. And he's like, yeah, I think I can work with that.
That's got to be one of my favorite parts of this Olympics though, how like everyone is just sharing the tea in the Olympic Village. Like before, I always pictured it as like this secretive, like very uppity, like cool place, and now I know that there's one dude who's obsessed with the chocolate muffins and will hoard them and makes TikTok
Yes,
videos about it. You guys seen Chocolate Muffin Guy?
yes. Give us the lesson, the history lesson on the chocolate muffin guy.
He just makes TikToks about how good the chocolate muffins they serve in the Olympic Village are. And he'll do like all of the fun trends with the chocolate muffins. He'll also do ones where he's like laying in bed and then somebody opens up the door and then he's like panicking like somebody caught him doing something wrong when he just has like 15 chocolate muffins stuffed in a drawer. Like that type of stuff.
Yeah. And now,
We didn't get that in previous Olympics.
well, also let's not forget the previous Olympics. I think they do like every 2 years. There's the summer and the winter Olympics, right?
Yeah.
Like COVID
Yeah.
fucked the last two up. So this is the. It feels like the first one in a really long time.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that definitely adds
Yeah.
to the experience. It was the same with the Euros. Like everyone in the Netherlands was like, "Yes, finally, we are so back. Forget about the last one." What are we? How is it going in terms of medals?
The US is dominating in terms of total amount of medals,
Oh my
but
god, yeah,
in terms of the quality, China's got the most golds.
yeah. You're tied with the UK in terms of golds. Ooh,
Rough.
I did watch the US, I believe, get gold and Netherlands get the bronze in a swim race yesterday.
yo. Michael Phelps isn't doing it anymore, right? He's
No, he's not. But the new swimming goat from the US is Katie Ledecky. She just became uh I think either the most decorated female swimmer or just overall most decorated female athlete from the US.
Does she also
So
have the freak of nature like flipper ankles? I don't know if you knew that about Michael Phelps.
yeah, she does not, but she is built like crazy. Her back is broader than 90% of people I've ever seen.
What was her name again for science purposes?
Yeah,
Katie
thanks.
Ledecky.
Katie Ledecky. Oh my god, that back is big enough to carry the United States for real,
Yeah.
for real.
There in one of her races, I don't know if you saw this. It was a long race and she was so far ahead of the competition that when she finished, no one else was on screen. It just looked like she
No.
was in the pool by herself.
Jesus.
That's sick.
Didn't you also get gold on the gymnast?
Yes.
Team? The B team.
The
I
B
believe?
team.
Well, that's what I heard. That was the drama, right? That there were some injuries, and so you kind of had to send a couple of the B team, not all of them. There's Simone
Yeah.
Biles, who's the goat, kind of. I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's after this Olympics undisputedly the goat.
Yes, but then the
Eh,
rest of the team, from what I heard, was not, not top of the top billing.
um,
And
there
so there was
was
some beef.
Suni who won the gold at the last Olympics when Simone dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
So she's also a top tier. But yeah, I guess I didn't follow the full team. I just watched the individual all around yesterday, which is where they do like 4 different events and take the cumulative score.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, Simone Biles is like a different species. It is like I feel bad for the competitors. That's all you can say because like there was this girl, the second place was a girl from Brazil who's like, oh, she moved out at the age of 9 to pursue Olympics.
Oh my
She had a
lord.
single mom who had 8 kids, and her brothers would walk her 2 hours to the gym. And then it's like, oh, and then there's Simone Biles who just fucking crushed everything, and like she didn't stand a chance, but she got the silvers, so that's good.
Yeah. You ever get a little envious when you see them spinning around and doing flips and shit? You're like, man, that would be so chill to do that.
Yeah. And then you look up at what age you need to get into like gymnastics to stand a chance. And it's
I'm
like,
not even saying like go into the Olympics. I'm just saying like you're hanging out in your backyard and you just like hit a double backflip, just like
oh,
and you're just like, oh yeah, like that was cool. It's like a merry-go-round, but you can just generate that for yourself. You're just spinning. Did I tell you guys about the time a 5-year-old taught me how to do a backflip? Have we talked about that before?
no, first question, how old were you?
Like 23.
What the? Go on.
Okay, I don't want to derail too much, but if we're this is like Olympics, right? Like we're doing
Yeah.
flips.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just about to start at this new job, and I was like, I need to do some crazy shit.
I
While I
need
have
to do a
infinite free time.
backflip.
Yeah. So one of my buddies came and visited, and I was like, let's make this trip memorable. We're gonna learn how to do backflips.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking around, and I don't want to like break my neck by landing on it. So I'm thinking, like, where do we go that's like soft and gentle, like a trampoline park of sorts?
Okay.
So we end up going to this trampoline park, which I don't know if you've been to one ever, but they're frequented mostly by like 5 to 11-year-olds. And I felt weird just existing in that space. It's just like I'm this 23-year-old man, and there's like a bunch of children on summer break that are just like bouncing off the literal
Yeah.
walls.
If we jump on the same trampoline, I'm launching a child.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they do not care about where they are in respect to you. So you have to be
Uh-huh.
very careful that they're not like you're like looking at their accelerations and velocities to make sure that they're not going to just turn into you and just decimate themselves. Like you're not going to be injured, but they certainly are. So I was there with my boys. We had like 4 of us that were learning how to do this. And we're jumping up on the trampoline and then sort of going for the backflip a little bit, but then chickening out right away because it's scary. Um, and meanwhile, we see these 2 kids next to us that are just doing backflips. And at first, I'm like, oh, that's cute. You know, they're just doing backflips. Like, I want to get there one day. Good for them. And we're like, let's leave them to their space because they keep running back and forth past us, and we'll find like a more empty area to practice this in. So we go over to a new part of the trampoline park where there's like a bunch of individual trampolines. There's like 20 different little 1-person sized trampolines, and we all get on them and we start trying to do the backflips again. These 2 kids waltz on over and they start doing backflips there again. Now I think they're just mogging on me.
Dude, they're
just
Fortnite
doing it to
dancing on
flex.
you.
And this happens a couple more times. We keep switching around and they keep following us until eventually this like 8-year-old kid, he must have been, he comes up to us and he's like, guys, do you want to learn how to do a backflip? Like, where is your dad? And yes. So this kid, this sensei, he brings us to this other trampoline. He's like, this is the trampoline where you will learn how to do a backflip. And then he shows us how to do it. When you're learning how to do a backflip on a trampoline, what you got to do first is you jump up, you land directly flat on your back on the trampoline, and then when you bounce up, you do the next part of the backflip. That's how you
Right.
start getting that rotation built up for yourself. And you're like, oh, that makes sense. Within 5 minutes of this guru instructing us, all of us were just out there doing backflips on the trampoline. And then we brought it to flat ground, and I could do a backflip on flat ground after like 5 minutes thanks to this
fuck?
wizard. Yeah.
He passed you some of his neuroplasticity, man.
Yeah, he did. The fearlessness that he had, the gumption, the neuroplasticity, it all came together.
So let me ask you this: you learned how to do a backflip before you started your job, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Did you then show up to the office and you were like, check it out?
Yo, look at this new skill, boys. No, I didn't. I was like, I don't know if you guys get this feeling, but when you show up to a new place, you're like, I get one thing. I don't want to like keep introducing all this other random garbage about myself. So I'm just gonna like have one piece of my identity that I show, and then they can be like, oh yeah, that's this guy. So I
Yeah,
was like,
the
yeah, I made
phenotype.
candles before this. And they're like, oh, it's the
Oh.
candle guy. I didn't want to be like the backflipping candle guy, you know? Like that's too much.
Yeah.
You go home, there's like, yeah, there's this motherfucker that just started here who's making candles and doing backflips. Like, look at that guy. Like
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily nerfing yourself, but it's just easier for people to compartmentalize and like start to understand who you are. Do you guys do that, or you just like let it all hang out?
No, I'm very big on optics management. I release a slow stream of information in the workplace. You got to test the power levels of your coworkers before you start revealing stuff.
Yeah.
What's testing the power levels look like?
Like, just maybe mentioning like what you're interested in in a very vague sense rather than like being like, oh yeah, I play a Pokemon roguelike on my computer. Just
Dude,
being like, oh yeah, I like to play games with my friends sometimes, and then you see how they
yeah,
fire back.
yeah.
This
You,
legitimately just sounds like flirting for gamers.
it's
Yeah, I play
It
kind
games.
of,
is.
Oh,
yes.
you
Yeah.
do?
It is so true because I remember when I started, I think just over a year ago now, and I get into a pretty young team, like early mid 30s. There's bound to be some gamers in there, but you got kind of got to test the waters. You got to check the power level, like Aaron said, where you say, "Oh, I play a couple of video games." They ask you what kind of video games. You got to start a little normie,
Mm-hmm,
and so I
mm-hmm.
go, I've been playing Elden Ring, and they go, "Oh shit, Elden Ring! I played that too." And you make a mental little checklist like Elden Ring, good, good choice, great job. You start talking about games some more, and one guy goes, "Oh, I've been playing Frostpunk," and I was like, "Oh shit, that's a gourmet
Mm.
pick."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, you get a little further, and yeah, and then after a month or so, you show them the real you, and there's
Hmm.
no
Mm.
going back. Because if you don't love me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best.
So I'm currently in the process of quitting my current job,
Oh, fun.
which is like it's a very weird sensation and feeling because that's when like full mask off. Like you always have like a little bit of that mask on at work, but now it's like you're talking to your favorite coworker and you're like, yeah, I actually didn't really do anything yesterday, and I think about quitting a lot. And
What
they're
are they
like,
gonna do?
yeah, same. Like, and you're just like, cool. I'm glad that we had this discussion like 2.5 years after I started. Like that is interesting because you build up the slow like, yeah, we both play the same sort of games. We both like D&D. He more likes Pathfinder, perhaps.
Yo.
I know you'd get a kick out of that. But then you're just like, I'm leaving, and it's like, okay, we can stop this play pretend act that we've had.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what's the process been like for you quitting your job?
dude, it's wild. It's like I don't know. It's stressful and exciting, and I feel like one of those overstimulated dogs who like they just vomit on the carpet because there's just too much going on.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like I'm just like super excited about a new position that I think is going to be really good, but at the same time, I like feel bad, and like also quitting's a weird experience. It makes me like it feels paradoxical. It's like I suddenly feel alive, but then I also am like dissociating a little bit. Like I look outside and I'm like, wow, the trees are greener. Like everything has color. I'm here. And then I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Yeah.
Interesting.
It's just a sudden jolt to wake you up, it feels. I don't know if you guys have had that experience, but
No.
no.
Are you
Well,
gonna tell them about the podcast before you're out the door?
yes. Do
I
it.
think a couple of them.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. I think the dude I was
Welcome
just
to the new
referencing, I'll
listeners.
tell him about the podcast.
Yeah, if this is your first time here and you're Jonas's old coworker, thank you.
Thank you. Don't forget to rate 5 stars.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've quit one job, and I mean that was kind of a shitty situation, so I was just happy to get out. I just remember
Yeah.
taking all of my vacation days and then having one day left in because I quit late 2022, but my contract wouldn't end until like January 5th or something. And so I had taken all of my vacation days, like the holiday break, and then I just had that one day in January left, which also happened to be the day that my replacement was starting. So I just spent the entire day onboarding and then having a very awkward goodbye party. And I walked
Yeah.
out and I smelled the fresh air. The trees were greener, but I was
Hmm.
just happy.
Yeah.
There was no like disassociation.
Okay.
Aaron, have you
Yeah,
quit a job?
I did. Yeah, I quit a job I hated and was ruining my
Yes.
life. And dude, the last day, it was like
Oh,
walking out, and the colors were all different. Like
yeah.
immediately, the mental haze that I had been living with for months just disappeared. when I walked out for the last time.
Yeah. I wonder how that relates to like, because yeah, we're talking about jobs here, but just drastically switching up what your life conditions are, like switching up what you're doing, making big changes. Is that what generates that sensation? Is it like a microdose fight or flight where you're like, I need to figure out what I'm doing real quick, and you're just like suddenly there and more aware? Like,
Maybe
I'm
because
no
like
emotional philosopher, but
I started hitting the gym with some regularity again, and at first that fucking sucks, you know, because you're
yeah.
building up everything from scratch again after like a 2.5 year COVID break,
Yeah.
and once you like start seeing results, oh my god, the walk back home from the gym, it, everything like you just hear birds chirping that weren't there before. They just appeared out of thin air. It's crazy, man.
Damesco discovers body euphoria by getting absolutely ripped.
Also, my earbuds were empty, so I was forced to
Yeah.
experience nature. Maybe that was it.
Now, a word from our sponsors.
Today's episode of the Normally Online podcast is sponsored by Chalk. Now, you might be familiar with premium brands that offer you a product with highly purified calcium carbonate that can reduce gastrointestinal stress. But what you might not know is that these companies are lying to you. Natural chalk is actually much better for your stomach. What do you think your teachers did on a Monday after a rowdy weekend? That's right. They would write something on the blackboard, then turn around and pop that piece of chalk straight into their mouth, the way God intended. Let's become one with nature again. Consult your doctor before ingesting natural chalk. If they tell you not to, find a new one. Thanks to Chalk for sponsoring today's episode. And we are back.
One thing that I've been seeing a lot online recently is people talking about their favorite new source of cheap protein. Before I drop what that little knowledge bomb is, though, I'm curious, what do you guys consume for protein? If you're going to the gym, I feel like you got to have strong opinions on this, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like if you're a regular meat eater, you're like chilling.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who aren't big meatheads, I guess you could say. They don't want to eat meat for 2, maybe 3 meals a day. And at that point, it gets tough.
Yeah.
But for me, the go-to supplements are Greek yogurt and sardines. That's where the money is.
The Deans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very simple man. I like my eggs.
I like all these options so far. The one that I've been seeing recently is people going to Costco and buying the biggest container of Parmesan.
Oh no!
Is this real? Does this work?
This is real, chat. This is real. There's a bunch of TikToks and like reels and whatever about this. How people are like looking at the nutritional facts of Parmesan, and then looking at the cost, and they're like, "You're not getting a better cost to protein ratio on anything," and like the macros are like gorgeous.
Holy
and, like,
shit!
Yeah,
I just looked it up. What the fuck?
Dude, that's
I mean,
a little protein bar for you.
The fat and the cholesterol, though, and the salt is insane too. But
I mean, hey, if you're sweating, you're getting that salt out, right? Like, come on, like it's easy. It sort of works itself into the system.
100 grams of Parmesan is 63% of your recommended salt intake.
Oh my, it does have 36 almost grams of protein. That is crazy.
Yeah, so like,
I was just at Costco yesterday. I missed out.
Dude, we should have the podcast a couple days earlier.
Yeah.
Almost did too.
Yep.
But yeah, add that to your protein regimen. You got sardines, Greek yogurt, eggs, and a new hand has touched the beacon. I don't know what that's a reference to, but it's a video game
Skyrim.
reference. That's Skyrim. Okay,
Yeah.
Great. Parmesan.
So I'm just gonna be sprinkling some Parmesan on my eggs.
Yeah. Not a
The
bad
biggest
idea.
problem that I've had with Parmesan, I fucking love Parmesan, and I've been
Dude.
like on the Parm hype train way before this was a thing.
Yeah.
I've been gobbling down blocks like it's nobody's business. It's real stinky though.
I mean,
It
compared to other cheeses, I feel like it's not too bad, right?
If you have like the dried little crummy bits or like shaved bits, like it's not that bad. But if you're just like raw dogging a block, it's a little
Raw
stinky.
dogging a block. Yep.
Yeah.
So for this Costco hack, are you buying it pre-graded or are you buying like a brick of Parmesan?
Brick or perhaps even wheel if they have that. Because that's how they make them. They make them in wheels.
Yeah.
Tying this back to the Olympics though.
Yeah, I was about to send it.
There are ads in the Olympics for Parmesan as well. Have you guys seen that?
Oh, I thought you were gonna bring up the I think Italian uh gymnast who's sponsored by cheese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't
that's
seen
what I'm
the
talking
actual.
about there.
Oh, okay.
It's just like it's like the got milk, but for parm.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, now that I know that there's so much protein in there, I'm gonna take the ads a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, yeah, my wife struggles to get her protein. I'm gonna say it's Parmesan time. 3 meals a day.
You do need to sweat a lot, though.
Me going to Olive Garden to get the maximal amount of gains. Tell me when to stop grating the cheese on.
Hi, can I just order the Parmesan? I don't need the pasta.
I don't need the pasta.
So, have you engaged in this in the Parmesan biting?
Brother. Like I said, I got a block of parm in my fridge right now.
How many grams are you consuming?
That's a good question. I'm not like recording my parm consumption. It's more just like until I feel satiated by this block. I just keep nibbling off of it. It's too big for one sitting, I'll tell you that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But also, even long before Becca's going to get a kick out of this, they'd keep a little bit of Parmesan in their fridge for me when I'd visit.
My mouse is coming over later. I must make sure to store some cheese.
So, yeah, I think they'll get a kick out of that too.
In case you were wondering how mice fall for mouse traps, there you go.
I get it.
If we
I really
built
get
an
it.
industrial sized mousetrap, would you would you survive the encounter?
I'd fall for that shit 10 times out of 10. And like, here's the thing: you trap me in a box with a wheel of Parmesan, I'm having a good time. Like, I don't need anything else.
This is a random side note,
Okay.
but have you ever set a mousetrap? You're actually not supposed to use cheese. It's messed up.
What?
Yeah, it's a lie sold to you by a big mousetrap in order to sell more mousetraps.
Not Big
Mm,
Dairy?
maybe they're in
Um,
cahoots.
Maybe you're actually
Probably.
supposed to use peanut butter because it takes them longer to eat it, and then
Oh.
there's a less likely they nab it and get out before the trap goes off.
Yeah, you
Well,
can't really
that's
nab peanut butter
nice.
Yeah.
And
unless they get
also,
new rat tech where they get like little bidets to blast the peanut butter off the trap and then consume it.
little little bidets. How was that the first thing you thought of?
Well, think about the consistency of a creamy poop and some creamy peanut butter.
Oh, that's
Okay.
what we're talking about.
Let's skip this discussion. So I feel like this has been a very positive episode so far, and I want to keep it rolling because I feel like we often talk about the weirdos of the internet because the
Hell
weirdos
yeah.
are fun to talk about.
Hmm.
But I've been thinking, let's give some good internet people their credit. Do you guys have any influencers or content creators, maybe even like, I don't know, journalists or something online who you're like, I really respect their work. I think they're doing great stuff and more people should know about them.
Hmm.
Hmm. I like a content creator on YouTube known as Foreign Man in a Foreign Land. It
Hmm.
is a guy from the Bahamas originally, which is a
Hmm.
very like apparently very like traditionally masculine culture, and he makes a lot of videos about social issues, but also from the perspective of someone who had to kind of rewire their brain as they, I believe, went to college. He went to college in the U.S. I think he still lives there. I'm not entirely sure. Um, but yeah, very interesting videos, very wholesome, funny as well. I would recommend it. And like one thing that's refreshing is that like he had some, as you grow up in a culture that's traditionally masculine, you're gonna have some outdated ideas of the world, and then he kind of acknowledges that in the videos and talks about how he's grown out of it. So I would definitely recommend that one.
Okay.
No.
Wow, that was very precious.
Yeah.
I think if I'm looking at people that I'm like, yeah, these are some internet famous people that I actually like. They
Hmm.
may not be particularly famous, but like there's a huge amount of software developers that are doing like open source projects that are basically just keeping the entire internet afloat. And like I don't know if I'd call them famous per se, but like that's some really good work. Um so yeah,
Can
like
you
shout out
name
to
a
open
couple? I'll
source.
let you know if they're famous or not. Because if I know them, they're famous.
I think the most famous is the dude who makes Linux. His name's Linus.
Tech tips.
Yeah. Linus Tech
Yes,
Tips, yeah.
I know that guy. Is the guy who made Linux actually named Linus?
Yeah. His name's
Linus
Linus Torvalds,
Torvalds.
and
Oh,
he's still working on it. Sort of sort of cool, and that's like the biggest reason why like that's an entirely separate operating system that I think keeps the other operating systems a bit more honest. And it's always like, yeah, you can just
yeah.
go use this, and it's always getting better too. Like more and more people are contributing to it, and they're just like silently making the world of tech so much better. There's a number of other things too that like are just smaller little libraries, like ways that people handle accounting. There's like accounting libraries that are entirely open source that a bunch of big companies use that um, sort of cool, you know.
Yeah, the isn't the creator of VLC Media Player also like he was offered millions of dollars to sell it, and he was just like, nope, it's gonna be free for everyone and chill and no ads. Schmeep schmop. Good luck.
I believe it. Yeah.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. What about you, Aaron?
I've been on a bit of a video essay kick the last
Uh oh.
s- few years, I'll call it. And I see. I want to give credit to the one who started the kick, and that is Frederick Knudsen and his Down the Rabbit Hole series.
How did I
Mm.
know?
Yeah, these videos are just so good, and what makes them, I think, special compared to a lot of YouTube videos is how neutral he remains to the topic, no matter how absurd it is. He just
Mm.
kind of tries to explain it in the most matter of fact way
Yeah,
possible while going insanely in depth.
yeah.
And it's a very refreshing way to make YouTube videos. And his most recent one, which now was
Oh,
released 9 months ago, was a 6 hour deep dive into Eve Online's history as an MMO. For those who don't know, it's a online spaceship game that's been running for what, like 20 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he went through the entire history of what has been happening on the player base, and it's insane.
Dude, the thing about Frederick Knudsen's videos is they're so good that they are the only like video essays where I've seen people be like, "Yo, did you? How far into the new Frederick Knudsen are you?"
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good one.
I gotta respect the people who are making long form media now still too, because like short form media has taken off and it's like so monetized compared to the long form media. Like they
Yeah,
do it for the love of the game, not for the funding. So I appreciate them.
And also, as a long form content enjoyer, you get like the sense of superiority, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, you watch your little 10-second TikToks. I watch the 6-hour Eve Online deep dive.
And I only put it on 1.5 times speed.
Yes,
Oh,
he does
yes.
talk very slowly. So I've got one more if you want
Oh yeah.
to hear it, because this is a good one. Because in this age where content creators are all getting up to no good, getting canceled, as the kids say,
Hmm.
Tom Scott has stopped making videos, which means that if he ever gets canceled, you don't have to get into the whole separate the art from the artist thing, because like he's not making any new ones. Just watch the old ones. Great videos. That too, I guess. He's just
Yeah.
a guy who likes being curious about weird things in the world and then goes to make videos about them. 10 out of 10. Miss him.
My introduction to him was through a tweet that was like me asking if any of the boys want to hang out, and it's Tom Scott being like, "I am in the North Pole. I am on a bridge. I," in all
Yeah.
the introductions of his video. Just
I am
that
going
was
through
how
the
I learned
tunnels of
about him.
Chernobyl right now. Yeah.
I feel like going to Chernobyl would be lit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you
And if you
can
look at the
now.
radioactivity, it's not that radioactive except for that elephant's foot that's like still will kill you if you look at it. But besides that, it's like
What?
fine. Yeah, like the nuclear core is still super radioactive, and like if you even see it, it's too late for you. Like,
What the heck?
I bet it feels really good for a second, though.
yeah. The warm embrace
All of a
of a
sudden, the
bunch
trees
of
do get greener
radioactivity.
as you look at it.
Yeah. You start seeing new colors that didn't exist prior to right now. So I feel like the long form content grind actually kind of took off in COVID because, uh, all the content creators were locked in their house and so were the viewers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Another insanely goated one is folding ideas on YouTube. He
Hmm.
he made the video that like almost killed crypto like on his own. I know crypto's not dead, but like NFTs are dead. And he made a 2 hour long video that ended up getting 15 million views just dunking on NFTs in insanely in-depth fashion. So if you don't understand NFTs and you were like, what was going on in that moment in time that we've now passed, go back and watch that because he basically called it perfectly the downfall of them.
Mhm.
And it's crazy that he had that level of knowledge and foresight to figure it out before, while, pictures of monkeys were selling for $1 million.
Yeah.
I love how he made that, world changing video almost, and then you scroll down a little bit and it's a Minecraft video.
Hmm.
That's the content creator grind, I guess.
Well, but the Minecraft video is ironic. It's
Oh, don't get me started. Well, some good ass channels, some influential people. Is that gonna do it for today, fellas?
That's going to conclude today's episode, everybody. Thank you for listening. Curious to hear what your favorites. I don't want to ask protein source. I feel like that get weird. What would be a good question for today?
while he's thinking, make sure to like the podcast on whatever platform you're on. Maybe follow. We're really bad at plugging this stuff, and
Good
I'm gonna
God.
keep. I'm gonna keep doing it. I'll take the hit to my ego, and I'll be the one to remind you to please interact with the podcast.
Yeah.
If you liked it, if you didn't like it, don't interact. You can
Yeah.
leave.
Yeah. Get out. See, I don't do it because I know you hate it the most. And if I don't do it, then and Jonas doesn't do it, then I mean, someone's got to do it.
I just
Yeah, yeah,
forget
yeah.
about it.
I see. That's the thing. I do forget about it, and then we get to the end, and it's like, I never said.
No.
I watch. Actually, it's usually when I watch a different content creator, and they're like, "Make sure to like and subscribe." I'm like, "Oh, we forgot to do that again."
No, see, the meta is now you do it at the beginning where you show like your subscriber statistics and you go, actually, did you know 94% of the people who are
Hmm.
watching this video aren't subscribed? Go fix that right now. Blah, blah, blah.
I
So yeah.
I'm always super avoidant when I hear content creators do that. I'm a chronic non-liker online anyway. Like, there's a Reddit post that I like. I'm not liking it. I'm just going to chuckle a little bit and just continue on with my day. Yeah. So
You don't want the
I'd
algorithm
be a
to know
hypocrite.
anything.
Yeah, I'd be a
Yeah.
hypocrite if I was like, hey, like and subscribe. But I'd also be lying if I said it didn't deliver a small amount of dopamine directly from wherever dopamine is created to my frontal lobe.
If you want to give Jonas dopamine, like, and I was gonna say subscribe. I don't know. Click the notification bell. I don't know if that exists. Leave a comment with your favorite creator. Right? Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.